Dear students, today I will tell you about preparation of the double column cash book. Before starting discussion on the double column cash book, you must know about basic concept of the cash book. Cash book is the one of the primary book of account which records only cash transactions. All cash receipts and cash payments are recorded in it, whether it is of revenue nature or capital nature. But non-cash transactions do not find place in the cash book. For example, payment of salaries will be recorded in the cash book, but salaries outstanding means salaries due but not paid can't be recorded in the cash book because it is a non-cash transaction. In the same manner, purchase goods for the cash can be recorded in the cash book, but credit purchases of goods is not entered in it. I told you, it is a primary book of account. You know why? Why is it known as primary book of account? Because transactions in the cash book are recorded directly from the source documents. Whereas in the secondary books of accounts, like ledger, transactions are posted from the primary books of accounts, not directly from the source documents. One more important fact about the cash book. It is also considered as the secondary book of account because there is no need to prepare ledger accounts for cash and bank after preparing the cash book. As per the need of business organizations, different types of the cash book can be prepared. These cash books can be divided into three categories. 1. Single column cash book, in which only cash transactions are recorded. In this type of cash book, we make only one column for recording of the cash each side. Second type of the cash book, that is double column cash book. It records cash as well as bank transactions. And some of the large scale business organizations prepare petty cash book also for recording very small values transactions. For example, refreshment charges, postal charges, bus fare, etc. can be entered in the petty cash book, because value of these transactions is very small. We make multiple columns for recording different types of the transaction in the petty cash book. Today we will discuss preparation of the double column cash book in detail. As I told you, this type of cash book records cash as well as bank transactions. Accordingly, there are two columns for recording of the amount each side. One cash column in which we record cash transactions and another bank column for recording the bank transactions. For bank transactions, various instruments and forms are used like bank drafts, check, pay-in slip, etc. As all of you are aware that check is used to withdraw money from the bank, or it can be used to pay the amount to the another person. Like payment of salaries can be paid by check. In the same manner, for making payment against the goods purchased, check can be used. A specimen of a check is presented here. Actually, check is the order given by the account holder to the bank to pay the specific amount to a particular person. And pay-in slip, it is used to deposit the cash, bank drafts and checks into the bank account. A sample of pay-in slip also is presented here. we mention details of the account in which the amount or check to be deposited, like name of the account holder, account number, amount, etc. And definitely details of the currency also mentioned in it. For preparing any book of account, a specific format is used. A format of double column cash book is presented here. You can observe that there are two sides of the double column cash book containing 5 columns each side. At the left hand side, means debit side, columns are date, receipts, ledger folio, cash and bank. And at the right hand side, means credit side, or you can say payment side, columns are date, payments, ledger folio, cash and bank. At the left hand side, all cash and bank receipts are recorded, whereas at the right hand side, all payments in the form of cash and checks are recorded. Date column is used to record the date of the transaction, and in the receipts column of the left hand side and payment column at the right hand side, name of the account is recorded, against which amount is received or payment is made. In the ledger folio column, we record page number of the ledger, where these accounts are posted in the ledger, and value of cash and checks are recorded in the cash and bank column respectively. For clear understanding of preparation of double column cash book, we will take some of the cash and bank transactions. These transactions will be recorded one by one. As you can see, first transaction here is cash in hand and cash at bank. These are the balance brought forward from the previous month. So these balance will be recorded as to balance brought down at the receipt side. Rupees 9,000 in cash column, it is the cash balance available on July 1, 2021, and rupees 8,000 in the bank column at the same side, as it is the bank balance available on this date. Cash book may be started with the cash and bank balance like this, or through capital account. If you are preparing the cash book first time for newly established firm, then no cash and bank balance available. In that case, you have to mention to capital account at the receipt side of the double column cash book, because amount is received by the firm from the owner on account of capital. Sometimes overdraft balance of the bank column is also given. In that case, it will be shown at the credit side as by balance brought down. But in this question, opening balance of cash in hand and cash at banks are given, not overdraft balance. It is not newly established business. So these balances will be shown at the receipt side as to balance brought down. Now second transaction. Second transaction here is salaries paid by check. It is the payment. So we will record it at the right hand side, means payment side, as by salaries account on July 3. An amount of rupees 500 will be recorded in the bank column, because it is the payment through bank. Any payment made by check will be recorded in this manner. But if it is the payment made in cash, then cash column will be used instead of bank column. Third transaction is sold goods for cash. We have received cash by sale of goods. It is a receipt for the firm. So it is recorded at the receipt side, means at the left hand side, as to sales account on July 5, and the amount of rupees 6,000 will be recorded in the cash column. Next transaction on July 7 is purchased goods for rupees 700. If we are purchasing goods, definitely amount will be paid to the supplier. So it will be recorded at the payment side, rupees 700 in the cash column. Say if it is not specified whether payment is made in cash or through check, we will assume this type of transaction as cash transactions, and amount will be recorded in the cash column, not in the bank column. Now move to the next transaction. It is rent received by check, and this check has been deposited into the bank on the same date. So this transaction will be recorded at the receipt side. We will mention to rent account on July 8, and rupees 2,000 will be recorded in the bank column, as this check has been deposited same day into the bank. There may be other condition also for receipts of the checks. For example, it is possible that check is received but not deposited into the bank on the same date. In that condition, it will be recorded in journal, and we will pass journal entry check in hand account debit to rent account. As cash is not involved in this transaction, so it will not be recorded in the double column cash book. But on the next day, or whenever this check is deposited into the bank account, it will be recorded as to check in hand account and amount in the bank column. But here check has been deposited on the same date into the bank, so it will be recorded as rent account and amount in the bank column. Now come to the next transaction. Next transaction of July 10 is very important for recording in the double column cash book, because it involves cash as well as bank. Transaction is amount withdrawn from the bank account. On the one hand, there is a cash which is coming in the business organization, and on the other hand, there is a reduction in the bank balance. It can be said that it is a receipt of cash, and on the other hand, payments from the bank account. This type of transactions are entered at the both sides of the double column cash book. That's why these types of the entries are known as contra entries. And we mention letter C in the ledger folio column for contra at the both sides of the cash book. So this transaction will be recorded at the receipt side in the cash column, rupees 1,000, as to bank account, because it is the cash receipt from the bank, and on the other hand, it will be recorded in the bank column as by cash account, because it is the payment to the firm from the bank in the form of cash. And don't forget to mention C in the ledger folio column, as it is the contra entry. Next transaction on July 17 is machinery purchased and payment made by check. It will be recorded in the bank column, rupees 4,000 at the payment side, means right hand side, as by machinery account, because it is the payment for purchase of machinery through bank. In case of payment by check, we always record the amount in the bank column because there is no other condition. Now one more transaction for passing the contra entry. This is amount deposited into the bank account. This transaction will also be recorded at the both sides, as it involves cash as well as bank. It will be recorded at the receipt side in the bank column, rupees 1,500 as to cash account, because this amount is received by the bank in cash. On the other hand, it will be recorded in the cash column, same amount, that is rupees 1,500. Will mention by bank account because this is the deposit, or you can say payment to the bank in cash. And yes, you have to mention word C in the ledger folio column, as it is also a contra entry. Second last transaction here is stationery purchased for cash. Definitely, it is the payment for purchasing of stationery. So it will be entered on July 15 at the payment side of the double column cash book as by stationery account, and the amount of rupees 300 in the cash column, because it is the payment made for stationery in cash. On July 29, electricity charges were paid by check. It is also a payment through bank account, so it will be recorded at the payment side as by electricity charges account, an amount in the bank column rupees 800. In this manner, we will record all the transactions in the double column cash book. After recording all these transactions, we have to find out the closing balance of cash and bank column separately. First, we will close cash column. For this purpose, we will make total of both sides of the cash column in rough, and difference of these two will be mentioned as balance carried down at the receipts or payment side. If receipt side is more than the payment side, balancing figure will be recorded at the payment side to make it equal to the receipt side, because as per double entry system of accounting, total of both sides of the cash book must be equal. And if payment side is more than the receipt side, balancing figure will be entered at the receipt side to make it equal to the payment side. In this question, total of cash column at the receipt side is rupees 16,000, and at the payment side, total of cash column is rupees 2,500. In this manner, receipt side is more than the payment side by rupees 13,500. So this difference, which is known as balancing figure, will be mentioned at the payment side to make it equal to the receipt side. In the same manner, bank column will be balanced. Here also, we will make total of both the sides and difference will be calculated, and that difference, which is called balancing figure, will be recorded either at the receipt side or at the payment side to make it equal to the other side. In this question, left hand side means receipt side. Total of bank column is rupees 11,500 and total of right hand side means payment side, it is rupees 6,300. Before showing the balancing figure, so difference of two sides, or you can say balance of bank column is rupees 5,200, which will be recorded at the payment side in the bank column as balance carried down. In this manner, you may complete double column cash book after recording various cash and bank transactions. Complete double column cash book prepared from the transactions given is presented here. Hopefully, this topic is clear to you now. Thank you. Thanks for watching this video.